On today's episode, we invite Ryan Pack from Soundtrack Your Life to go through the ridiculous music video ep.
Are those vampires?
Welcome to the Nostalgia Test Podcast, the show where two longtime friends put their mainstream pop culture past to the ultimate test, the Nostalgia Test.
There it is, Dan. Again, every week I'm ready for your little quotation at the end of the intro, so I'm excited. Yeah. All right, we got another guest episode, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Nostalgia Test Podcast. I'm Manny Quillo. I'm here with Dan District. He's in LA, and we have a guest today. Dan, let's tell everybody about what's today's episode and who our guest is.
Well, Manny, this is going to be an interestingly weird episode, which I think it goes along with our whole route right now on this podcast. We're looking at ridiculous music videos and putting 3 ridiculous music videos to the ultimate test and then see which one reigns supreme. And we have a great guest. We have Ryan Pack from Soundtrack Your Life to help us figure this out. Ryan, thank you so much for being here.
I'm excited to be here, guys.
I'm so glad that you're here for a music episode. Your podcast talks about music. I was like, this is going to be a good episode for you to come on. So why don't you let the audience know a little bit about yourself and like what your podcast is and, you know, what you do there.
Like Dan said, my name is Ryan Pack. I host a podcast called Soundtrack Your Life. We release episodes on the second and fourth Monday every month. We have guests, and I also have a couple co-hosts, my friends Nicole and Brandis, and we talk about soundtracks that are important to us, sometimes because we love them and sometimes because we hate them.
That's going to be more. So, okay, wait, so even the ones that you hate, so like you have like a deep connection to them, how does that work? Like, in what way do those connect to you all?
So we did an episode on Garden State, and it's a movie that I feel like I really liked when I was a lot younger. It's a movie I don't like so much now. And there's a story on the episode about this girl who was going through a breakup who asked me to write a movie with her. And then when we got down to like trying to write the movie, she kept on saying like, it's got to be more like Garden State. Like I needed it to be like Garden State. And I hate that movie because of her.
I was going to ask you, I was like, really, you don't like that movie? And I'm like, wow, should this be put to the test? Because I enjoyed that movie. I remember enjoying that movie a lot. And I'm trying to remember the soundtrack to it. But I got to go back and check that out.
That was like the big one with the Shins. Like,
the song's going to change your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd be curious if that passed the test, Manny.
Yeah, I mean, I remember really liking it. I guess it was because it was different. And I don't know. I probably saw it 3 times. So I don't know. Sometimes even if you like a movie, you can't see it like a couple more times. I actually was recently just seeing Shutter Island, and I think I saw that years ago, and I realized that movie is great, except you cannot watch that like 3 or 4 times because the surprise ending is like the ending. You just it kind of like ruins the whole joy of the movie. It's like watching Sixth Sense for like the 8th time. You're like, okay, like, you know, the whole surprise is ruined for you. So,
oh my God.
If you guys both have, if no one's seen these movies, you should go see them.
That was a Manny tangent.
But we have some really great songs today to talk about, some amazing videos to talk about. Wait,
before we get to that, Ryan did not get to tell everybody where to go get his.
My bad.
No! Smeal.
Get the podcasts stuff. So get that info out there, Ryan.
You can find us at soundtrackyourlife.net, and we are on every streaming platform for podcasts.
Awesome.
All right. Yes. Sorry, Dan, back to you. I interrupted you. Yes, we are here to do ridiculous videos. So Dan, you gave me this list, and I was like, first of all, it took me, it was so hard not to choose Meatloaf's I'll Do Anything for Love, but I won't do that.
I'll do anything for love, anything you bet.
And I couldn't choose it just because we just did an episode recently about the song. So I was like, no, I can't just do the video because that is a ridiculous, awful, amazingly awful video.
But there is
So
a video on this list that pretty much I feel like they filmed exactly where they filmed.
Exactly.
All the
That's
videos.
why I wanted you to do that one at the end. So I'm gonna kick it off.
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna be truthfully honest. I had to go like through a list of like, all right, what other videos? Because like Dan, yours was awesome pick. It was a sick pick, and I was like, yes. And then even Ryan's, I was like, damn it. And then I'm like, all right, what am I gonna do? And then I stumble upon one of the gems of like that. I remember this song, but I've never seen this video, never. So I couldn't even say it's nostalgic. I guess it's nostalgic. The song is nostalgic, but like the video itself. What this video did for me is I used to work for a DJ company.
Yes.
Okay. When I was like 8 from like 16 to like 19, 20, and we'd go do weddings. And then I also started editing videos, wedding videos. And then I would edit on a really bad 90s editor for wedding videos. And this professional video, quote, professional, was made by this editor. Because like, that's all this looked like. I was watching a wedding video.
Tell everyone what's the video.
So
that you
it's
chose.
Hooked on the Feeling by David Hasselhoff's version of Hooked on the Feeling.
Another Hasselhoff hit.
This is golden. Okay. He's green screen the whole time. He even plays with the video, like they cube it out and it's all pictures of him. Yeah. And he's like throwing it around. He becomes Superman. Yeah. He rides a motorcycle, then flies that holding like, and he's like on top of it, like doing that Jesus Christ like move. It's called. Okay. There's random dancing with Maasai people. Okay. Yeah. Angels that are flying around. He's dressed like Steve the crocodile hunter guy.
Oh my god, yeah.
And he's also dressed in like Eskimo furry like winter stuff, but like snowboarding or skiing is happening behind him in the green screen. None of this makes sense.
No, and none of it. You can't stop looking at it. Like I wanted to stop looking at it, but I'm like, I can't because I don't know what's gonna come up next in the green screen. And I'm like, what else is he gonna do? But he's also singing it with intensity. Like
when he goes like this. Hooked on a feeling. And cold November rain. That's it. I was like, and he's like dressed as if he's in someone's wedding. So he like, here's my question, Ryan. I'm going to ask you this. Do you think he's part of the joke or he's the joke?
I think halfway through he realized that he was the joke.
That's got me ball.
Like it starts off,
he just went full on. With
like
it?
at the beginning, it just looks like he's just being really intense, and then at some point, like he starts to smile and stuff. Where you're like, I think he knows this is stupid.
But he's full. Yeah, he takes the train and he's like, let's do this.
He's gone full Hasselhoff.
Oh yeah, I guess you have to, right? Like this. I know his singing career is huge in Germany, right? Like,
yes,
isn't it supposed to be like really huge?
Yeah, ridiculous.
So, like, I think he knows that this is for a certain crowd, and yeah, you're right. I think at first
Germans,
but at first I'm like, he's like dressed nice, and it's like he's really into it. You're right, and then all of a sudden it's like it just gets ridiculous. The part when the fish gets thrown at him and he catches the fish with his mouth,
dude,
he's got to be. He's got to be totally like, let's just get crazy with this because there's none of this makes sense and it doesn't matter.
Dude, this is like the part of the video that I was like, he must know now he's in on it or whatever, is when he comes across the screen like with a fish, looking like he's just like from Mac and Me. He's got like that Mac and Me like mask on. It's like this weird moment where I'm like, whoa, what was that? Now, can I just say...
Are you talking about he's like going like this? He's like bumping up and down?
No, he's like sliding in the background. Like
yes,
this.
yes.
Like,
I just watched it.
But he's like...
Yeah. I have it. I have it on.
Total Mac and Me.
I love when he all of a sudden turns into Superman.
Yeah.
I think he just has no gravity. I don't know if it's Superman as much as the point in the green screen is like, all right, no more gravity. But can I just say a few things? 'Cause I've been lacking on the facts. Let me just say this. According to
you
Wikipedia,
have been in a couple episodes. You haven't brought your Danny
you're right.
facts lines. Go
But
ahead.
Hooked on a Feeling, according to Wikipedia, is his 9th studio album. So the song is that, the blue suede cover that he does, who the original, singers of this, his 9th studio album, released November 11th, 1997. Okay, it became his lowest selling album to that point in his career, failing to chart in Germany and reaching the top 50 in Austria and Switzerland. So this is the lowest selling album. But let me just repeat, this is his 9th studio album in 1997, which means that he has 8 albums that came before this, which is crazy to me.
Which are higher.
Yeah, and they all charted in Germany.
I don't understand. This video was just like, at first when you sent it to me, Manny, I was just like, okay, Hooked on a Feeling from Blue Suede. And then when I saw David Hasselhoff's name, I was like, no, this isn't a real thing. And I thought it was a joke at first, but then it totally isn't. I did some research. I'm like, no, this is a real music video. This was created. These people, they had to pay people apparently to do this. It just looked like something you do, like you said, Manny, at a wedding or like some sort of hall. You get together with people and you green screen everybody singing a song together. You get that video.
You know
It's
what?
like a karaoke video.
Yes.
Yes.
I was going to say that, Ryan. I was like, it's like when you go to Great Adventure with your friends and you pay like $20 to we have friends, Dan, that went. The girls, remember our friends growing up, Stephanie and Jess? They were on the show, so I could mention their name.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Whatchamacallit? That they did Girls Just Want to Have Fun at Great Adventure. And you you stand and you just karaoke the thing, and they give you the video at the end, and they're like, here you go, $20 each. So David Hasselhoff went to a Great Adventure and was like, hooked on a feeling. Let's do this.
Unbelievable. I don't know. And it's God. It is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like it. And it's weird because you think it's a joke, but then he's singing really intensely. He's wearing a leather jacket. He's looking all Hasselhoff.
I actually think he looks kind of like Highlander in that.
Oh my God.
Could only be one.
Oh, I'll make a connection to that later.
Okay. All right. So.
Oh man. I mean,
we're gonna start repeating. So I got to cut this one off. I'm gonna say this. My first impression. I always do first impressions. I don't remember this video at all. So really, no first impression on that. I remember the song. I like the song. Very nostalgic. To me, this does not pass the test as a nostalgia test because it would definitely never be played if you even if people watch videos now. But I guess people watch videos on YouTube now, so you could just watch to see how ridiculous this is. So I said it doesn't pass our test, but it is ridiculously awesome. As in, I can't believe someone who has 9 studio albums actually put something out like this, and it's not just as a joke. He put this out to advertise this album.
unbelievable. Yeah.
It's not even nostalgic. It's just, I don't know what, it's in a weird realm.
It's like a Hasselhoff realm.
It's Hasselhoff. That's it. It's Hasselhoff.
Oh
That's
God.
all I'm saying.
It's a new category.
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I agree with that. I probably discovered it in college at 2 a.m, after, in between Celebrity Jeopardy episodes, and be like, oh, look what I found. It's a David Hasselhoff video. And if it was released today, people would just think it's some sort of joke to go viral.
Yeah.
No one would be oh, this is serious. This is a serious promotional tool.
So is it Hasselhoff? So you're saying it definitely doesn't pass, you're saying, right?
Yeah, it does not pass.
I mean, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it obviously doesn't pass, but I'm going to say this. This is going to become this is now one of my favorite ridiculous things ever. I am going to, this could
bring this up
new,
at a conversation.
Yeah, this is going to become the new Rick
did you see that David Hasselhoff video?
Dude, this is the new Rick roll. This is to me, totally. Like, I'm just gonna send this in like links to people, like embed this into an email somewhere, and someone's like, "Yo, yeah, you got to read this article," and then they hit it, and this is what comes up, because this is the most hilarious thing I have ever seen. I'm so happy that you brought this to us, Manny, but it definitely is not good. And I think
Dan, I don't disagree. I actually don't disagree that it could be not the new Rickroll, but it could be used in that way. Like, hey, I saw this thing, or whatever, and then they hit that "Hooga chaka, hooga," and then he comes.
I can't stop this feeling.
I love it.
I don't even want to start it there. I want to fast forward to like somewhere in the middle when it's like really in deep in the video, so that you can't stop it. You just like get it, and it's Hasselhoff immediately, just in your face.
All right, I'm down with that. I like it. I like that.
So good.
All right, next one, Ryan, you're up.
All
Give
right,
it to us.
So the awful video that I picked, or the ridiculous video, is "Dancing in the Street" by David Bowie and Mick Jagger.
Whew. Big names right there. Big names.
Huge.
Yeah,
Now,
it's considered the worst video of all time.
okay. And this is another cover, because "Dancing in the Streets" is a song written by Marvin Gaye, William Mickey Stevenson, and Ivy Jo Hunter. You know, in 1964, it became popular when it was recorded by Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. But this version, which came out in 1985, this charted at #1 in the UK and reached #7 in the US. The song has also been covered, just for everyone to know, by the Kinks, Tejas, Grateful Dead, Little Richard, Myra, and the Struts. But wow, this video, Ryan,
do you remember this video?
I discovered it in college.
In college, okay.
You know, it's the first time I had like fast internet. So you're just like, oh, I heard David Bowie's great. I'm going to download all the David Bowie. And then, Under Pressure is great, right? David Bowie and Queen. Yeah. So you're like, oh, David Bowie and Mick Jagger. That's got to be great. And when you download that song, you feel like you're being rickrolled.
That's got me ball.
Yeah, I would agree. You mean the song? You don't like the song at all?
I mean, I like the original song, but when you're like, oh, it's David Bowie and Mick Jagger together, two of the biggest musical icons in all of history. Mm-hmm. I think you're expecting a little bit more than them just doing kind of a straight cover of this song and just calling out random cities.
This was
this is like a cheap applause song,
yeah, but the video is about.
Oh, they said it. They said I'm from Chicago. They said we're dancing in the street. I'm from Chicago.
But you know what's weird? This is a video about dancing in the streets. It's about people supposed to be dancing in the streets. There's only two people in the video: David Bowie and Mick Jagger, in a post-apocalyptic version of I don't know what.
Yeah.
And I was just like, where's the other people? And Mick Jagger, his facial expressions, you could pause this video at any moment, and it is the funniest thing you'll ever see, because he's got like, I feel like Jim Carrey copied all of Mick Jagger's facial expressions, and he was just like, that's comedy.
And he has very yellow shoes.
Oh yeah!
Oh my god! And the weird and tucked in shirt and his pockets were so big on that shirt, and they look like they were filled with sand, or maybe in this case cocaine, because like this video is fueled by cocaine.
Did you guys see the random like pickup of a can and drink it?
Yep.
Like he just randomly is walking through the street and decides to pick up a can. I'm assuming it's beer, or they're trying to say that. That's LITHOLOGY brewing.com. Here's Dan, I agree. I didn't understand, like, okay, my thing is like, how low budget were they just like, yo, we don't care, we're just gonna sell a bunch of albums because it is David Bowie and Mick Jagger. So like they're like, all right, we can't afford to like do much with this, so we're just gonna film you guys dancing in this random warehouse and then outside. Because, like, you would think this video with these two huge blockbuster of names would have rows of people dancing in streets.
Mm-hmm.
I read that they recorded the song and shot the video all in 13 hours.
What?
Okay, that explains a lot.
That explains.
That's it. They were like, we got them together. They're never. These two were probably so hard to get together or hard to focus, right? And like, okay,
Hard
guys,
to
we need
focus.
like, as in, like they're always doing so many other things, and they're like, all right, we got you guys together. Can we just do this video? And they're like, sure, let's just do this. Whatever we're wearing right now, we'll shoot this video. Like, they didn't get wardrobe for this video, Dan. They probably showed up like this at the studio, recorded it, and was like, all right, let's go down the block and shoot.
Do you know what's ridiculous? I'm looking at the facts, right? So this cover was in 1985. Before that, the people who covered it before that are in 1982, Van Halen, 1977, The Grateful Dead, 1966, the Tages, and then in 1966 as well, it looks like the Mamas and the Papas did a Dancing in the Street as well. And the Kinks did it in 1965. So you have all these epic covers, and then in 1985, they recorded this as a duo in 1985 to raise money for the Live Aid famine relief cause. Now, that's a great cause, but let me just tell you, they did not put any sort of care into it. And if this was supposed to help Live Aid, I mean, maybe they lost money from this. Like, they were just like, what is this?
I don't know.
Oh, that
But
choreography in the that choreography in the hallway.
Oh my God.
That was great.
And then David Bowie's in the doorway, and then Mick Jagger starts singing. He bounces out on the other side of him.
Yeah. I love, what about the face-to-face when they have their heads together and they're singing?
Yeah.
It's not, now that you're saying all the facts, it kind of makes sense. Like, it was for charity, so they didn't want to spend that much money on it. You know, even them back then, though, they probably had millions of dollars where they could have at least paid some people to be in the video, right?
Anybody.
They're probably just like, no, we don't want to spend any money. We're just going to make money on charity with our names. So let's just do this.
You remember in Footloose, like the Footloose video, like when you see the Footloose video, all these factories and stuff, there's all these music videos in factories. This didn't even look like it was in a factory. It literally looked like so one of them was going to get stabbed there. Like, it looked like a crack house.
Some of it looks green screened. There's a part where they're like, it's like everything goes black at one point, and they're that kind of looked green screen to me. So I was like, do they also do green screen all of a sudden really quick, or are they in the studio, like the music studio hallway, like on the stairwell? They could.
Oh my God! It was
Ryan, is there any more facts on this that you know about?
I think I have most of the same facts as Dan. It just seems to me like, why not just shoot footage of them recording the song and just put that out like documentary style? That would be much better than this.
I agree. They could have showed them, in the studio. Like,
do like a We Are the World. Like that. That video is just, first of all, I love that video because if you look at when Bob Dylan, there's a funny fact, Bob Dylan singing We Are the World, he's not singing at all. He's literally just sitting there lip syncing. He's like, he's not singing the words.
But that probably would have been a lot better, Ryan. That just to show them recording it, like this, not show them like try to dance. I don't know.
This was,
and then what about the awkward like butt shot at the end of them walking and like shaking their butt?
They were like Disney characters walking off into the sunset.
Mick Jagger's always shaking his butt.
Yeah, I know, but it was just, wow, what a ridiculous video.
It would be like they would look like at the end, at the end of that song in the Jungle Book, the animated one, Bare Necessities, when I forget what his name is, Mowgli and Baloo are like, shaking their butts off into the horizon.
Yes,
that's exactly what was at the end of this one. I was just
You're
like,
right.
what is going on? They should have just sang Bare Necessities. That would have been great.
They should have. But I like Ryan's idea of like making it into a documentary thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this was terrible.
Where was the manager to be like, we're not going to release this? That's garbage.
Yeah,
but it's 1985. These are two of the biggest stars. I mean, they're huge. But this is the thing: David Bowie's untouchable. He did a garbage video, and yet he's David Bowie. No one even cares. Like, they're just like, that his next thing is going to be awesome. Whatever he's going to do after this.
And he's released the song on like Best of David Bowie.
He released this song?
Wow.
Yeah, like he puts it on like the best of David Bowie compilations.
Wow. Wow.
Mentos, the fresh maker.
But I mean, Manny, just going back to that thing about like picking up a can off the street and drinking from it, that's gross. Like don't pick up anything off the street and like randomly. I mean, I've only seen one person do something like this, and I'm just gonna say the name and I'll blank it out. So when I was a kid living in Wilson Park, my friends and I was friends with a kid named Jason. Shout out to Jason. And we were riding our bikes down the street. Someone flicked a cigarette out of a car, basically at us, I think, because that's what people did back then. They just didn't care about kids. They just flicked things at you. And Jason picked it up and smoked it. And I was like, what are you doing? We were in like 7th grade.
Hey, whatever.
I've never seen anyone do that, though. Like
that's how you build up an immune system, Dan. That's how you build up an immune system.
Hey everyone, it's Dan from the Nostalgia Test Podcast. Just wanted to let you know, if you're looking for a unique customized gift for your friends or family, hire the Nostalgia Test Podcast to create a special personalized private episode or to roast your friends or family. We create each personalized gift with special show notes and quotes just like the real thing. And also, why not invite us to host your next virtual event? Go to nostalgiatest.com and click the Hire Us tab, and let's get nostalgic. Like,
oh, man. All right.
Man.
I don't know much more you could say. You can't even, like, I wouldn't even say this is ridiculous as a point. It's like, this was like a ridiculously lazy way of making a video. At least Hasselhoff was like, all right, let's get into a green screen, make this like funny, wear costume changes. Like these dudes straight up walked outside, had somebody film them, and just gyrated, and that was it.
Yeah. I have to go get a wipe.
Gyrated.
It was lazy ridiculous. So I'm just gonna jump in and say,
oh my God! Wait,
when what?
Except for when David Bowie jumps off the staircase and they like film him in slow motion.
Yeah.
Yes. That was the action shot. They're like, "Yo, do this." Like,
yo. So wait a second.
None of it made sense. None of it went together at all. It was stupid.
So let me just put this out there.
This is another one that was like made by children.
So listen to this.
I'm mad at this that we're even talking about.
So they recorded this at Spiller's Millennium Mills in London, and it was directed by David Mallet, who he is like a director of music videos and concert films. He's one of the most prolific directors of music videos in the 1980s. He worked with Iron Maiden. He did the Run to the Hills video, Ashes to Ashes by David Bowie, Let's Dance. He did Rush's Distant Early Warning, Queen's Radio Gaga, and I Want to Break Free, and numerous videos for AC/DC. Okay, he also directed... Okay, this is what makes me angry. This is just going to make me angry. Dude, he directed He directed the Pulse concert video, that Pink Floyd Pulse concert video, which is quite possibly one of the greatest concert videos of all time.
But then he got paid for that. This was a nonprofit job. And cold November rain. That's it. Okay.
They showed it twice at Live Aid. Twice.
Wait, they showed this on the big screen at Live Aid?
They had to, because this was supposed to be part of the Live Aid performance.
The same Live Aid during like where Queen like killed it?
Yes.
Wow.
And in the movie theaters before the showings of Ruthless People, for which Jagger had recorded the theme song for that. So this got a lot of play. I can't believe it. My mind is exploding.
I wonder if people liked it back then, though.
No, I don't think they couldn't.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. It's the 80s.
It's the 80s, and like, you know, you had Rickroll videos. You had like people just standing around in videos. Like, do you remember the Michael Jackson video where there's just a green laser behind him?
No.
There's a video where he's singing, now I forget the name of the song. He's just kind of dancing, and there's just green lasers behind him and a smoke machine.
Still better than this one.
That's got me ball.
Agree, because the song's even better. So yes. All right, so I'm gonna do this. Nostalgic was that obviously I remember the song. I'm not really. I don't really like this cover. This doesn't pass the test at all to me. I think it was lazy. The song is sung by other people so much better. I do like the song. It is very nostalgic for me. It reminds me of there's a version of it played in a Ski Patrol movie. So I like go back to thinking about that movie, which is a ridiculous movie. But they do a version of it, and that's what's very nostalgic to me. That Ski Patrol movie was better than this video, and that movie is terrible. So that's what it says. This movie, this is a lazy, horrible. I don't know why you even call this a video, but
so is this Dancing in the Streets bad?
Dancing in the Streets by David Bowie, Mick Jagger bad. Which is so weird to say those names together in saying the word bad.
Because they did a great song together prior to what was the song that they did that's really good? Oh man, I can't believe I'm forgetting this. But I mean, yeah, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, I was disappointed by it when I discovered it. The video is terrible. I do not think this passes the test.
Do you think it's nostalgic, or do you think it's also just not even nostalgic? That this is just bad no matter what you do to it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Hasselhoff, where you can only really just laugh at it.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
You can't like enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah,
for some reason, I would enjoy Hasselhoff doing this song over a green screen of them dancing behind them.
I wish
behind him. Better than the actual video.
Yeah, this is, I'm going to say, like, this is bad. Like, this was, I mean, I love the song by the original version of the song, but in their version, if you just listen to it, is sung really well. I mean, I have nothing to say about it, but when you watch the video, it kind of ruins the whole experience. You're just like, wow. And this is for Live Aid, and they filmed it in this weird this whole thing is dystopic. Like, and it just like, it's almost like a slap in the face to like the whole thing about Live Aid. It's about famine relief, and they're like just dancing in empty dystopic streets, and they're just like, yeah, we're millionaires. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is horrifying.
Ryan, you said it's charted as the worst video ever?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at different websites that
it comes up a lot.
It comes up a lot.
Okay. All right.
I
can see why it does. No, I'm trying to think about it. Like, it's close to probably the worst thing I've seen. So.
Oh, it is like quite possibly one of the worst videos I've seen.
Actually, I disagree with that. I found one, and I forget the name of it, but it's a shoe. It's somebody making a shoe talk and ruining the shoe the whole time. Now I have to look that up because that's the worst video I've ever seen. But
yeah,
this comes
really
close.
Bad. This is really bad. Wow. Okay. All right.
Dan,
so
the big guns right here.
So I had to do it.
Ridiculously awesome.
I brought to the party here Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Holy nostalgia.
Which is quite possibly, it's off the 5th studio album, Faster Than the Speed of Night, which came out in 1983. The song itself hit topping the UK singles chart, becoming the 5th best-selling single in 1983 in the UK. In the US, the single spent 4 weeks at the top of the charts, keeping another Simon Penn song, Making Love Out of Nothing at All, by Air Supply from reaching the top spot. A song that Tyler actually would later cover in 1995. It was Billboard's number 6 song of the year for 1983, and the song was nominated for Grammy Award for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. Now, the video, though, is, I mean, this is one of the most ridiculous music videos I have ever seen in my entire life, because I don't know what's going on. But the production value of this video, the amount of stuff they put in this video, the people that were in this video should have been in Dancing in the Streets. The fact that there was no one in Dancing in the Streets but Bowie and Mick Jagger, and then in Total Eclipse of the Heart, there was everybody like that didn't even belong there. That was amazing to me. And this video just like, I mean, you have everything. You have food fights. You have people dressed up like they're from the Lost Boys at one point. You know, you have kids with glowing eyes. You have, you know, all sorts of fabric falling out of the doorways. You have fencers and ninjas and like like kids in a pool swim team. I don't know what's happening in this video. But this is quite possibly one of the most insane videos I've ever seen in my entire life.
Dude. I've seen this video several times, and I remember the first time I saw this video, and I was like, are we watching a horror movie? What am I watching? Is this a sci-fi movie? And so what I gathered from it, so there's swimmers, ninjas, fencing, gymnastics, football. I'm like, oh, so we're at like a private school, and they're just showing everything they have available at this school.
Okay, what private school has ninja?
Kung
What
Fu.
the hell are you talking about?
Taekwondo.
Karate and ninjas are very different things.
Yeah, like thank you, Brian, because
But I'm
you
just
could have
saying,
a
'cause,
karate
like-
class, but this is
but,
like
all right,
they dress up
I'm-
like they're in the game.
Guys,
It's not
I'm
Cobra
trying to-
Kai over there.
No,
Yeah,
but,
they look like they're in
but
Shinobi.
there's a shot. There's a shot of some karate too. I'm telling you, a lot of this. There's like, because remember at the end, she's at the school.
Yeah,
She's at like a boarding school, and like the kids are part of the choir. Okay, so like they've been taken over by an alien race that has glowing eyes, and she's just walking through this school. Go November rain. That's it. I'm telling you, something has to do with school here.
Oh, for sure.
Has to.
Oh yeah, well it better. It has to do about something, because if it's not about school, then I don't know what the hell it's about.
I wonder, like, what it has to do with Total Eclipse of the Heart is my thing.
Well,
Did she fall in love with a student?
But go,
I
Brian.
think that's
go
one.
ahead.
I think that's one read of it. But I wanna tie this to a couple things you brought up earlier in the episode. First, the guy who directed it, Richard McKaylee, directed the Highlander.
Oh my god! You gotta be kidding me.
And also the guy who wrote the song with Bonnie Tyler wrote a bunch of songs with Meatloaf.
I'll do anything but love, anything you bet.
That's right.
We're tying everything together.
Yeah.
Dude, of course he did. Because I was like, oh, this looks like
Oh god.
a Meatloaf, Celine Dion, like all those videos that all look like Meatloaf's videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
The
all ties together.
The unedited version of the song is 7 minutes long.
Makes sense.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Wow. So I'm reading something on grunge, and I'm gonna put
Do,
all
do
these
they
links.
just repeat Total Eclipse of the Heart the whole time? They must. Just like
There's gotta
I'll
be
do
some.
anything for love, but I won't do that.
I'll do anything but love, anything you bet.
Yeah, it's gotta be like an extended like guitar solo or something. So on this article on the grunge website, they're saying that Total Eclipse of the Heart. They're like, you might think the song is about demonic boarding school kids, but weirdly, the second interpretation is closer to the truth than the first. It's about vampires. The song, then titled "Vampires in Love," was originally written for a shelf Nosferatu musical. It's about vampires. And I read this in another article as well on the Showbiz cheat sheet that they too said it's actually about vampires. Because writer Jim Steinman originally wrote it for a musical based on one of the most famous vampire movies ever, Nosferatu. So the song itself was
where are the
supposed
vampires?
to be in a Nosferatu musical. That is the craziest thing.
All right, the song, but the video has nothing to do with vampires.
Those kids, they got to be the vampires.
But none of them are like trying to attack anybody.
They were in love. Ryan, go ahead. Right? See,
There's just a lot of synchronized dancing going on. It's creepy, but it's a lot of synchronized dancing.
Yeah, no, I will agree that it is creepy.
Oh, yes, there's the part with the steps. The guys look like they're from Greece.
Yeah.
Are they wearing leather jackets? Is that what I saw? And they're like...
Yeah, they look like the Fonz. And then I thought they looked like the people from the Lost Boys.
Okay.
Are they supposed to be drama club?
This is Glee.
Yeah.
Before Glee came out.
Each one of these groups is like an actual, like maybe club in the school. You're right. The swimming club, the fencing club, the capoeira
Cobra
club,
Kai.
the shinobi club, the...
I love the dove. Oh, man, this is so Meatloaf.
Oh, man. And they throw the dove at her. You know, I got really scared at one point, though, actually, when like one of the kids jumped forward. And I was like, whoa! I was like, this video...
You think she was explained the reason, like...
No.
The video?
No way. She
Ryan,
would
you
just
say no?
Nah,
Ryan
he's
shaking
like,
his head no.
he's like, trust me, I did the video killed the radio star video. I know what I'm doing. And she's like, all right. And he's like, I'm going to go direct the Highlander after this.
which glowing eyes, right? Like all the energy goes into the body through the eyes, through the hands, and everything when they cut someone's head off.
What, with the Highlander?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
They have to be vampires too in some way.
Highlanders.
Sure.
I don't know. I never really got into that. I know that there could only be one. That's all I know.
I feel like he
Anyways.
took a bunch of extra props from this video and used it in the movie.
Oh, 100%. He had to. I mean, the dark like houses, everything like was like almost like Highlander Blade Runner-esque. Like everything was dark and like over dramatized. And but then you have that last scene where like she's being
what is
introduced
that?
to all those kids, and then that one kid is singing at her, and then his eyes are glowing. I'm like, wait a second. Was this a dream, or did this really happen to her? Because she's freaked out by it, but not in a way like she was scared. Like she was like, oh, they know. Or like kind of like, oh, that really happened. You know, like there's a weird interaction that they have at the end of that music video.
Yeah, some people think that she's in love with the students, but that's super gross.
Yes.
Yeah, that is. I
think she's just like realizing that the school is full of vampires or like these like, you know, space eye kids. And she's like, oh my God, no one else knows but me.
I prefer that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be so weird if it is the love thing. That's weird. Because you see like even the little kid who was so excited to cut the line and like shake her hand.
Yeah.
What? I don't know. It was and none of it makes sense.
No.
None of it makes sense.
And why is
The
there only
curtains
this
like
little
flying
group?
through. What?
No. Why is there this small group of kids? Like that's a big school. You mean this is the only group? Is that her class, or are these the only students there? Because
That's the choir. Maybe it is the only students there. Maybe they're magic.
Man. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever seen the literal video which was done of this, which I'll put in the show notes, where there was a video done where they narrate everything literally that's happening in the video. So it's just like every single thing, like some red cloth comes through the door, so a little boy with wings throws a dove at you. Like, and when you hear it that way, you're just like, the director had to make these choices. Like the director made these choices being like, you're going to open this door. There's going to be a kid in makeup. He's going to have wings on and he's going to throw a dove at you.
What about the swim team that gets like a bucket of water thrown at them? Like none of this, dude. This
What
is
about
creepy.
the fencing team when the guy takes the mask off and it's filled with water?
Yes, that's
I'll tell you
my favorite part.
Yeah.
What? He's just like sweating.
Sweating
that hard?
buckets, man.
And then they throw that sweat at the swimmers. Like it's just like they collect it from the fencers, they put it in a bucket, and they throw it on the swimmers in the other room.
The thing is, it's like in the beginning part, it's like they're introducing all these characters, and then like all of a sudden, after like
characters,
the major like I don't know part in the song, like things just get crazy. Like the food fight happens.
What is that?
The sweat. They're like wrestling around her. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I think the video takes away from the song. Like you start to pay attention too much to the video, where I think the song is good. I mean,
Dude.
Personally, I like the song.
Dude, okay. Wait a second. In 2017, Bonnie Tyler sang "Total Eclipse of the Heart" live on board a Royal Caribbean cruise during the solar eclipse of August 21st, 2017.
Bro, you know people signed up for that.
Wait, it gets better. She was backed by DNCE, I guess Dance, which is an American band which consists of lead singer Joe Jonas and drummer Jack Lawless. So
yes.
Unbelievable.
That's a hot ticket, Dan. That was a hot ticket.
That's a hot ticket? Okay.
Yo, there's someone still talking about that night. Like, yo, I was on that cruise where she sung Total Eclipse of the Heart when an eclipse was happening.
Joe Jonas.
I just want to know if she ever, like, on stage had people, like, come out with, like, bright eyes.
The band? No.
No, like, just, like, bright eye, like glowing eyes and stuff. Like, if she tried to recreate this video somehow when she performed it.
That would be amazing.
Would it be?
Yeah.
It would at least be entertaining.
Video? It's much better than Dancing in the Street.
Dancing in the Street had not enough. This video has too much.
Yes.
He totally does.
This video is like the dude he has attention deficit disorder because this is just crazy.
Dude, this video was basically like it's 1983, right? When this came out. So it was just like the 80s just began and he's just like, dude, we're going to make our mark on the 80s. And this is 80s. This is like Roadhouse. This is like the Roadhouse of 80s videos. Like to me, when I think of 80s movies, I'm like Rocky IV, Roadhouse, and then music videos. This is like one of the most 80s music videos I've ever seen. It's just excess.
Maybe
It's
Bowie
crazy.
and Jagger saw this video and said, let's do the exact opposite of this video.
This has too much energy.
This is too much.
Too many things going on.
Yeah. We're
It's just
gonna
gonna
do a
be
little
me
less.
and you.
We got this. We got this. We'll pick up garbage off the street and we'll drink from it. I'll do high
That's it.
kicks from the hallway, and then like
They didn't
like
need anybody else.
Dancing in the Streets. It looked like Leatherface from Chainsaw Massacre should have just like ran out of the hallway at some point trying to murder them. I was just like waiting for that.
Dude, this is a crazy. I'm watching this video,
Oh,
losing my mind a little bit.
Her hair is
The guy puts the karate guy does like a Danielson, like putting his like a sweatband around his head. He goes like this slowly, and he lines up. Oh, it happens. These guys are going for the Olympics. All
this
these
is the
guys.
Olympics.
This is tryouts for the Olympics.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, for the boarding school. You guys are making fun of me, but it's real. I don't know what the food fighting thing is. Maybe that's like, you know, you got to eat your figgy pudding kind of thing.
Oh, what? Shut up. Okay, so okay, so let's put this to the test.
Now I just watched the sweating buckets again. That is a good scene, Ryan. I agree.
Yes.
Holy shit.
It's so gross.
It's so gross.
It went extra way.
All right, so let's put this one to the test. Does Total Eclipse of the Heart pass the nostalgia test? Does it stay nostalgic, or is it just a bad music video? I'm going out there on a limb. Maybe it's not even a limb. I'm saying this passes the nostalgia test. This is extremely entertaining every time I watch it. It's one of the most insane videos, but you know what? They really went for it. I feel like in this video, they didn't just go for it and like, is this too much? They were like, it's going to be too much. We're embracing it and we're just going for it. And they embraced that, kind of like Rocky IV. So, or Roadhouse. I'm saying that this passes a nostalgia test.
All right, Rye, you go.
I'm going to say it passes. It may not be a video that I'm going to go back to like all the time, but I think it passes as, I'm going to put this in quotes. I know people who listening can't see. I see it as a piece of art.
Yes. This is definitely art.
I'm gonna say it definitely is nostalgic. It passes. I agree with kind of like it's not a video I'm like thinking about all the time. And there's definitely a lot of better quality videos that came out around that time. But this is so, Dan, I'll agree. This is so 80s and like weird and like, but like they didn't cheap out on like things like this, like Mick Jagger and David Bowie did. Like they went for it and they're like, yeah, we'll pay all these extras. We don't care. And we're going to continue to dress people up and all the wardrobe, where they shot it. It was perfect. So I say it passes the test. But I mean, it's not a video that I think about other than the fact that you were like, yo, have you ever seen this video? And I was like, that video is crazy. Like, anytime anyone brings this up, I'm like, none of that. That video is watching you're watching like a short film. And I want to see if there's a 7-minute version of this video because that's literally a short. Like,
this
there
video
must be a
is
whole
probably
thing.
David Lynch probably saw this music video and he's like, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to make my things 3 hours long and make them more confusing.
Yeah, I mean, look, we talked about this one the most, I think, and we still liked it. I mean, it's so stupid and ridiculous and just like art. I would agree with you, Ryan. It is art. Like, it was an expression of something, and then we're interpreting it in so many different ways. So, like, it works. It works. I don't know how the song is about vampire. I guess I'll go into the song and see, do I really think it's about vampires? But like the video has nothing to do with vampires. To me, it's like an alien race took over these kids, and it's like more of about like people snatchers or whatever that's called, invaders. I forget the name of the
Body snatchers.
movies. Yeah, body snatchers. That's what it is. So,
Yeah.
and then, but there is a part. I went on my usual rant, but I keep seeing this part, and I was like, the dove part when it's like floating in the doorway with the curtain. It reminds me of that scene in Face Off when they're at when they're at church. Dad, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It's very John Woo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But even that
Like the
scene,
slow
that's
I'm like, where are the guns and like, where's Nicolas Cage? Like this is just missing Nicolas Cage.
so. If we have to take all three of these videos and choose one that reigns supreme as the most ridiculous video of this trio, Manny, what do you think?
Oh, the most ridiculous.
Yeah, which one do you think wins?
I'm not saying like, could this be awesome, ridiculous, or just like whatever I think?
I think like maybe awesome, ridiculous, right? Or
Yeah, I think this is gonna win it all. I thought David Hasselhoff was funny. It's great, but it was not good. This is good. This is good. Ridiculous. This is like awesome ridiculousness. I think this wins. You could even give me some other. I'll do anything for love. That comes close because it actually takes itself very seriously, and there's a lot of things going on. You're not sure if he's the witch from Snow White, if he's Beauty and the Beast. You're not really sure what that is, but this still destroys that film, that movie. Yeah, the short film.
Yeah,
call it a music video.
Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with this one because at least you can argue that it's a good video. The other two you can't argue.
No, you can't. And I think that's what the most disappointing thing is, even like saying, and I'm going to agree, I think this is the best ridiculous video, is because I expected more. When you sent me the Dancing in the Streets video, I was like, oh, this might be like, this is going to be it. And then when I turned it on, I'm like, what's happening here? Like they totally forgot that this was supposed to be a music video. And it was so ridiculous on that end that it was just like that they actually put that out into the public. That was the most ridiculous part about it. But Bonnie Tyler's video for Totally Eclipse of the Heart, I think, takes the cake of most ridiculous video. I think we could put this up against, I don't know what video could knock this out. I have no idea.
As far as ridiculous, I'm not sure. As far as like great videos, those are easy to like destroy this. But like as far as to be this ridiculously awesome, like I'm not sure. I was trying to look at all the different lists, and this one always comes up also, and I'm just like, I don't know, because this is just like there's enough awesomeness to it. 80s awesomeness that you're like, because there's probably definitely something in the 90s that happened that would be like, this could kind of get to that, but like, I don't know.
I think like the editing was so masterful too. Like this was just, they took something that made no sense and made it make no sense, but I think in a very artistic way. But yeah, I think that's it. Wow. Whew. My God,
Ryan,
I'm sweating.
Question. So back to now, we're about to end. So we're going to ask you for the Instagram handle and everything. But on your podcast, you're saying you just do soundtracks. Like, how do you guys choose what soundtrack to do? Like, is someone just like talking about it? And they're like, oh yeah, this is what I felt, or you guys like have things lined up?
So when we have a guest, we let them pick the soundtrack that they want to talk about. So sometimes it's like, oh, I'm writing this book and I was listening to this film score a lot, or, I interviewed someone that composes music for movies, and, what's a soundtrack that inspires you to make your music? And sometimes when it's just like me and my friends, it's like, we'll kind of rotate who gets to pick the soundtrack, but it has to be like, they have to have like some sort of personal story connected to it. It can't just be like, oh, I like this movie, so I like the soundtrack, and that's the end of it.
Okay. Got it. So, like, there's stuff that, like, makes them... Okay, I get it. So, like, it needs to attach more than just, like, the film, like, but, like, it's like, oh, it reminds me of me and my dad doing something, or whatever. Something deeper than just, oh, I really like Rocky IV, so Let's do Rocky 4.
Rocky 4
Yeah.
came up way too many times in this podcast.
Which, by the way, is an awesome soundtrack.
Oh,
And if I was on your podcast, how I could relate it to is that I basically watched Rocky 4 my whole high school life while I was a wrestler, and that was the soundtrack to our wrestling team. Every day we played basically every single song from that soundtrack. So I could definitely go on that podcast and talk about it. 'Cause there was a lot of days spent sweating and buckets of sweat coming.
Fencing buckets of sweat.
Yeah, exactly.
oh man.
Well,
wow.
tell everybody where we can find you.
You can find us on Instagram at SoundtrackCast, on Twitter at Soundtrack_your, or soundtrackyourlife.net if that's easier for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan. It was so much fun to have you here. Glad you brought Dancing in the Streets to us. It was. I'm so glad I saw it.
I'm glad I finally get to see what's like the worst video I've ever seen.
It was so amazing. Covered like everyone out there. Let us know which one of these ridiculous videos you think reigns supreme. Your thoughts on some of them, your memories, and also if you want to add, tell us what you think is like the best ridiculous video, and let us know. You can throw it in the comments of this podcast episode, or hit us up on Twitter at Nostalgia Test, on Instagram at the Nostalgia Test, and TikTok now at the Nostalgia Test. And also, you can email us at the nostalgiatest@gmail.com. We definitely will read your comments on air, and if you have a podcast, we'll shout you out. Other than that, thanks.
Yeah, I
everyone.
want to know. I want to know someone's comment on what would be total Eclipse of the Heart. Come on, let's see it.
Main's calling you out, everybody. Bring it.
Bring it.
But everybody, thanks again for showing up at the Nostalgia Test podcast. Tell us what you think. Follow, rate, review. We'll see you at the next test. Peace.
Later, Dan. Later, Ryan.
Later.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. Please subscribe to the Nostalgia Test podcast to know when new episodes drop. Don't forget to leave us 5 stars and a positive review so more people can find the podcast. Share your thoughts and memories on today's topic on our Twitter at Nostalgia Test and on Instagram at the Nostalgia Test. Tune in next time because you never know what pop culture will pop up on the Nostalgia Test.